Hi everybody, welcome. Hi Ellie. Have you been sitting there waiting for me? Welcome back. Yeah, I think when I'm prepping to go live and I put like the details in, it kind of sits there. And so sometimes you guys get notifications and there we go. Hey, Esther can join us for a bit. Okay, Esther, you're gonna love this. Okay. So this is the card sketch. If you would like a copy of this, you need to go over to Artful Stampin Space. Not yet, not yet. Do it in a bit. And basically, this is the card sketch. So although I've designed it at the moment to be square, this is because I wanted it, you guys who are scrapbookers to kind of be able to understand it. You can, if you want to make it, you can like squish it. Either way, it doesn't matter. So let's just have a quick chat over it. It's basically, this is the outline of your either your 12 by 12 or your 6 by 6, whatever card size you're making, or your A6 card. Then I want you to create some kind of square or rectangle that sits within it, so a border. Then a focal point here with a little bit of something that sticks out from side to side. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. I don't mind you turning it around. And then a focal point with a little bit of filigree stuff sticking out. So I don't really want to be seeing like leaves going all the way around. That's not the point. The whole point is to have something going from the top left to the top right, or top right to top left. That's, you know, it's up to you. But the idea is to kind of bring the eye, train the eye to come this way to look at your piece of work. Now, I am going to be doing a scrapbook layout, and look, I found this gorgeous photo of my sisters, me and my sisters, last year. So this was taken last year before my middle sister went off to Zambia. And so I'm planning to use this as my central thing for my scrapbook layout. Sorry, it's shiny. It started to get quite dark here, so I'm having to use artificial lighting, although I have done that all day. And so yeah, this is going to be my my middle focal point. All right. So before I get started on, before I use the photograph rather, I need to get started on. I thought this colour might be quite nice. It sort of just about picks out some of the pink in my. Sorry, you probably can't see that pink in my dress. And well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. I might just grunge this up so much that you won't even see the red, but we'll see what happens. So I don't know if you can see, but I deliberately chose this kind of textured background. Now, if you want to use pattern paper, that's absolutely fine. This is Cherry Cobbler. No, it's not. It's Mary Mallow. It's from the Neutrals pack. So if you're a scrapbooker, I don't know if you realise this, but Stampin' Up sell all our colour families in sets of 12 by 12. Okay, I think it's because there was a bit of an uproar a few years ago when scrapbookers were like, we haven't got 12 by 12 in the colours we want. So they brought them back, which I'm really, really pleased about. So if you're a scrapbooker, remember we do 12 by 12, and we do all the plastic pockets and all that kind of thing. Start off with, I just want to get my texture paste down and then leave it to dry, and then I think I'll come back in and do the card, and then I'll come back to this. But before I get started, I want to do some textures on here. And I'm just trying to look for, where's my brand new texture stamp? Oh, I've put that somewhere. What's it called again? Is it Gallery Grunge? I think that was the name of it, wasn't it? I'm just going to put some additional lighting on in here because it really is getting quite dark. Now the clocks have gone back. I've got a feeling I've packed it ready for a class. Oh, yeah, I did. Did I not? No, I didn't. Oh, I've just found 3 stamps that I didn't use this morning. Oops. Okay, I won't use Gallery Grunge. I think I'll use Crackle Paint. Get some of this on in the Mary Mallow and go from there. So hello if you're joining me for the first time this afternoon or ever. This is part 3 or challenge 3, part of a whole day of crafting. So some of you have been with me since the beginning, since this morning, very early this morning. And some of you are just joining, which is lovely. And the idea is that you are inspired by whatever challenge I've given you, and you can craft away to your heart's content in your craft rooms, and then you can share what you've made on a Facebook group called Artful Stampin Space, which I've created for people to just share the things that they make that are inspired by anything they've watched on one of my videos. And it's a great little community of people, and very friendly. And there we go. Right, so I know you can't see that very well, but it's meant to be subtle. It's just a little bit of that crackle paint stamp in the background. So all the products you see me use are available from Stampin' Up. If you're in the UK, if you head to artfulstampin.co.uk, you can then click on shop and you can shop with me pretty much immediately. All right, I'm thinking to add a bit of colour in here. I've just realised I haven't got your comments coming up yet because I haven't. There we go, that's better. Don't forget to share this out. Share out with some friends, and you know, it could be a bit of a watch party. Get them watching along with you, and that can be a bit of fun. Right, I'm going to grab the. Ooh, do I want the neutrals? Oh, skip that. Turn the sound down so you don't hear me speaking doubly. Hi Wanda, yes, you got the live one. So I'm about to use the texture paste, which is here, but I do want to add some colour to it. So I'm thinking, oh, let's try a bit of green. See what happens, hey? So I've got my tub of water ready at the side for when I have finished using my texture paste, because you do not want this stuff to get hard onto your stencil. It's like Weetabix, you will not get it off. Let's have a look at your comments. 12 by 12 is good for boxes as well. Yes, yes it is. That is very true. Hi Wendy. It told me you were on. Awesome. Are you watching me on your new laptop, Wendy? Right, I'm just going to add a tiny wee bit. A really tiny wee bit. Hi Gloria. A little bit of... Actually, you know what you should do? You should put a lump of texture paste on. Like this. And then you put the re-inker. Just a little wee blob. Then mix it in. Maybe I should put some more. Try not to colour that in too much. And you can mix it on here. It's because I can't be bothered to get something else out to mix this on with. There we go. Right, try and put that on exactly. Do a bit further down. And basically I want this to go all the way around my thing. Yes, I've done that. I did it with Brushos, Wendy, mixing the sprinkles in. Yep. A few years ago, mind. There's a video I did of an altered canvas that I did. And yeah, that was quite fun to have a go doing that. So basically you can put the texture paste on, then add sprinkles, and then mix it all together and see what happens. Yeah, the trick with that is not to over mix, because if you over mix it, it just kind of melds together, the colours meld together. So right, just get another one up here. Want to use this all up if possible. I can tell there's some bits of this texture paste that has got a bit thick and a bit dry, so I think I'm fighting a losing battle trying to incorporate it all in. But there we go. Right, I think I'm done with that. I'm going to stick that in my water. Just clean off my... Oh, it's my toilet roll one. Oh, bit of tissue on the floor, that'll do. Hi, Ali! I just realised, just saw you on. Hi, how are you? Great to see you. Right, so that's the texture paste bit done. So I'm just going to set that aside for a second. So just for those of you who've just joined, I'm going to be doing this sketch here, and I want to something, a banner or something to go through the middle there, and then I've got a photograph to cut out. So I might just get on and cut the photo out. It's of myself and my sisters in the lovely town of Montgomery, which is in Montgomeryshire. So. Oh, you're quite right. Put the lid on. I was too busy reading the comments. Right, now this is going to be tricky, how to cut this out. I don't know whether just to keep it as a square and then just see what happens. Actually, if I cut it out as a square now, a rectangle now, and then see where we go from there. I do recognise this is not going to be a true circle, but you know what? Sketches are not meant to be adhered to absolutely rigidly. They're there to be a starting point for when you're a bit stuck on a layout. Cut that off the side there. Cut that off there. Yeah, I'm thinking of making it a bit more of an oval. So a quick way to do that is just to round off the corners. I'll just grab a pencil to make sure this is clean. Turn it over. Oh, I could use my pot here, couldn't I? Or should I go for a slightly larger one? Larger circle. That's not that much larger, but there we go. To be honest, I could do it with my hand. Just do that. Use the natural curve of your hand just to do that. Now I am allowed to use my scissors again. Oh, Esther and my twins. No, we're not. No, no, no. Love that black and white building. Yes, it's lovely. It's a hotel. And a friend of mine is a chef there now, and he used to have a restaurant in Welshport itself, and we went there for some food, and it was the first time in a very long time that it was just me and my sisters going out for a meal, because usually we have other people with us. We usually have kids with us or husbands or whatever, so it really was quite enlightening the whole evening. I won't repeat the conversation, but I remember finding things out that I didn't know. Yeah, so the Dragon Hotel, if you ever come to this part of the world, it's a lovely hotel and you can stay there. Unfortunately, it's not that accessible. The rooms are upstairs and there is no lift, so sorry about that. Right, I think we'll decorate something. We'll do something around the edges. Oh, you like my pencil? Thank you, Ali. Look, the ears have come off. But yes, it was a sheep. Yeah, so this is Esther, and this is me, and that's Helen. There we go. Right, next, I think I'm going to work on a card. And I wanted to show you how to look at your designer series paper and make use of all the different patterns, because when you get your designer series paper, it's worth giving it a little bit of a study, because you need to identify what types of different patterns there are. And I've lost my I've lost my, oh, there it is. Right, here we go. Right, so when you're putting things together, Helen looks like my mum. Oh. When you're dealing with layers on a card, it's really important that when you choose the different papers, that there's a significant contrast between the different patternings. Okay, so this is why I like Stampin' Up, the way that Stampin' Up design their papers. Right, hold on, I'm getting really confused here. I've got that one, which has got the green on the other side of that. Then we've got that one, which has got all those beautiful florals, and then this one, which is it's kind of like you have, with all the Stampin' Up papers, there's always like a gorgeous side, and then there's a meh side. So it doesn't make you feel bad for using the really gorgeous side. Although the meh side is useful for, you know, little fillers and other things. So that's fine. Right, so then there's another floral one, which, so you've got your large patterns, you've got your middle-ish patterns, and then what they usually do is have something that's kind of pattern all over. All right, so it's worth studying these. So you've got that one that's got a pattern all over. Then you have that one which is a slightly different colour, obviously. This is red based, this is white based. Then, am I missing one? The green one. And then there's, look, a more solidy green one. So Stampin' Up really do make it easy in terms of how they design the papers and put them together. So let's have a go making a card with my sketch using these papers. Right, now I quite like this gorgeous luxurious red, so I don't want that in the background, but I'd like to set it off by putting maybe I could put that in the background, or the green. Oh, I really like the green. Well, I really like the green against that. Well, let's have a look. Let's start cutting and then we'll go from there. Hey. So if you've just joined, it's been a day of challenges and activity. So you can still head over to Artful Stampin Space and join in the fun. I'm going to cut this down at 5 3/4 inches. And by 5 3/4 inches. Actually, I just realised what I could do is make 2 cards in one go and show you how, by turning it over using slightly different papers, we can get 2 different looks. Shall I do that? And you'll be able to kind of see where we're heading. What is it? Okay, go on, use it now. My daughter's just come in to see if she can use clay.
Do I use it on the tray thing?
Yeah.
That we did use for.
Right, so I want this to kind of sit. I want to see a border of this. So I'm just kind of holding that there and then eyeballing to where I want to cut this. So that's basically 4 inches. Curl the edge to get the other side, maybe. Good thinking, Ellie. Good idea. Wendy is confessing. You did forewarn Esther about that. About what now? Oh yes, I heard about what you got up to this morning, Esther. That's okay. I forgive you. So I often do say this, if you're making 1 card, you may as well be making 2 or 3 or 4 at once. But because this is a little bit more detailed, we'll stick to the one. Right, so we could do that and then that. That's quite fun, isn't it? Oh, taking away florals. That was the last YouTube live. We're not doing any taking away right now, please. I've got a hard enough time as it is trying to create this in front of you. So if you missed the last challenge, people were super chatting me, and if they super chatted me, they could take away an element. So that is not happening. Now we do have this gorgeous little filigree thing here, which I thought would be quite nice to have as a, actually even just passing through there would be nice, wouldn't it? I'll go and get my big shot. And oh, what colour should we go for? We could go for a bit of gold. We do have some gold foil. I've got some gold glimmer. That might be quite nice. I'm going to have to buy some new embossing plates. This one cracked yesterday because I've used it so much. Yay, I'm allowed to use scissors now as well. See, look. It's properly done in this plate. That's a good idea, Wendy. Yes. Just, you may as well be stamping twice, and then you can always use it as a collagey background, can't you? Even if you don't use it immediately. Ah, that's a good idea, Wanda. Okay, so I'm going to keep these little stars because they're super duper handy. Let's not get rid of those. It's beautiful, isn't it? Right, I will cut from the back, as Wanda said, to save my blades. I'll keep my die sharp, as she said. Yes, I have. Sometimes I find it doesn't push down so hard, but it depends what it is. I think it depends on the... I just didn't want to... I wanted to just get on and do it right now. I didn't want to risk not cutting. But yeah, no, I do have a self-healing mat. I bought an A5 one and then realised it didn't fit exactly in here and spent about half an hour cutting it down. It was so hard. Oh my goodness. Self-heating mats are so tough. Right, there we go. That's 2 cut out. Now, I just want to see if I've got some other... Oh, I've also got these here. This might be nice as a little bit of a filigree. So let's cut that out as well. One can never have too many little bits of filigree, can they? And I think cutting these dies out of glimmer paper is so cost effective. You know, it's one of those things that you go, do I buy glimmer paper? But actually, it goes so far and it lasts such a long time that it is kind of worth it. Getting my little tool here. I love this little brushy thing with the pokey tool on the end. It's fab. Right, do I want another one of those? May as well while I'm here. Sorry about this. So this is the boring bit, guys, I'm afraid. So, talk amongst yourselves. Anyone know any good jokes? I have a couple of friends on Facebook that were sharing really cool jokes, but then I can never sort of recall them. I'm useless at remembering them. Right, anyone know any crafting jokes? Esther says she only remembers one. Oh, right, okay, we'll go for it. I don't know, who did you bump into? Everyone. These are the dies that go with Itty Bitty Christmas. This leaf one. This sort of, it's supposed to be mistletoe, I think. It's very cute. I'm just going to cut it down so I don't waste it, because it's going to be hiding behind a circle, isn't it? So I may as well cut it down. And then kind of the same with this one, really. I could cut that in half. There we go. Right, now this one I feel needs a little bit more definition. So I'm going to grab my, is that cherry cobbler I've got there? Yeah. Oh no, red. Let's see if I can find cherry cobbler. Oh, or even Merry Mallow. That'll do. And just do a little bit of a border around there. So sometimes if there's not enough definition, you can either create a border by putting another layer underneath, or by sponging. That's the other thing you could do. But if you do have to mat a layer, what I would do is cut out a few pieces from this piece before sticking it down. So I'm going to cut out some leaves or something from behind here and use that. Which leaves should I go for? I'll go for these ones. So I'm not wasting all that cardstock by sitting it behind there. Just going to cut a few of those out and put those to the side. I might use them, I may not. Okay, so that just gives that a little bit more definition there. Right, and then we need to decide what we're going to have as our focal point and what we're going to have as our bit that goes across. What's the difference between a snowman and a snow lady? Yes, where you put the carrot. Indeed. Oh, I've just found, I've got some of this retired ribbon. This is from, gosh, a few years ago now. But look, isn't that gorgeous? It's a perfect colour. So my fabulous Fiskars fabric scissors are still sharp. Yay! Just trying to cut a little fishtail into there. And cut one into there. So this can be eyeballed, you don't have to be precise. There we go, that's one. So then I think we need to go for something a little bit more contrasting on this side. So I've got a little scrap of old olive here. Fold ribbon in half and cut once. Oh yes, yes, I could have done that. I could have. I could have. Oh, where are the scraps of old olive gone? Oh, here we go. That's what I need. There we go. So we'll cut that down to 5 inches. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Yeah, you find whatever way is easiest for you. I think we'll go 1.5 here. 1.5 or 4 centimetres. think if I've got a... No, I haven't. I was thinking, have I got a punch, square punch? I haven't got one to hand. It's current, so... I need to catch up on your comments in a second. Hold on. I'm concentrating. Right, that's going to go there. And I think that needs to have a little bit of gold around the edge of it. That might be quite nice. As well as gold embossing powder. So this is another great way to edge your cards or whatever. So you can just go down the edge, a bit down there. I did this to the unicorn card the other day with some glitter embossing powder. It looked beautiful, really lovely. So a little bit of that, 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 and I forgot to use the powder What's It Majig, but it doesn't matter because I want it to be kind of quite shabby looking. So I don't mind that it's stuck a little bit. Plug my heat tool in. You're all still with me. You're all still following what I'm doing. So who's going to be using this sketch? I hope you're going to find it useful. I deliberately didn't make it too complicated. She says. With about 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. Oops. So don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you like this video or any of my other ones. And if you need a catalogue and you're in the UK, then please drop me a line. The autumn winter catalogue is still current as well, but of course you can see the catalogue online. Go to artfulstampin.co.uk, there's links there. Right, so that one's for that one. So it's nice to have that contrast of the green there. That one's got the contrast of the red. So then we need to decide what we're going to be putting in the middle. So I do have the die, some circle dies, and I do have a punch. The punches are really useful. If you're a beginner crafter, I do recommend that you invest in some punches. And circle ones are probably the most useful ones to have. Hi Ali B, you just had breakfast. Awesome. You're catching up on the other 2 challenges. Great. Right, so let's pop that there. Now what was that one? The 2 1/4. I'm wondering whether or not we need something gold or something to go around the edge of that. So I'm going to grab out the what have we got? The stitched framelits dies. We also have layering circles. That's what I want. Sorry about my arm there. I can never quite remember what sizes some of these are. So you see, if I cut that out, the stitches are not going to show, so it's kind of pointless. But that makes quite a thick gold, but that would be too thick. Let's have a look. Oh, you're welcome, Wendy. Thank you. Amazing Me PM. 5:39 in Austria. Oh, thank you for joining me, Amazing Me. I love your handle. That's so cool. All right, so just find the one that There we go. That's a nice thin outline. I like that. And I'm thinking, what about a bit of gold? And I'm just going to do that off camera because I've got it all set up here. So, oh, did I just put it back in? I was trying to tidy it away and then tidy the thing that I needed away. That wasn't clever, was it? Right, where's my plate gone? Just stick that in there. So of course, if you haven't got any punches or dies, you can just draw a circle round a cup or a mug or whatever, and that is perfectly fine. You can do that. Again, I want to make use of the gold, so I'm going to punch out. Ooh, what could I punch out of the middle of that? I think I'm going to circle actually, because I could use that for something else. So I'm just going to punch that out. See, on this frugality, is that a word? Frugality. Okay. And then I'll put a white piece of cardstock in the middle for that. Where's all my collapse gone? I did have a whole load of white scrappage. Here they are. Thank you. Hi Tracy, welcome. Would you use a punch instead of a cutting die? Yes, use whatever you need. Yeah, just because it's what I'm using doesn't mean you have to use that. Right, so I've got, hold on, figure out what I'm doing. So that was 2 1/4, that one. And this one is 2 inches. You can use good old-fashioned scissors if you have to. There we go. So that'll be my middle. So that will have the sentiment in it. Let's tidy up, please. Pop those there. And if I cut this one ready for that one. And, ooh, I'm a little bit stumped as to know what colour to do for that one. So I actually quite like the white contrast. I'm wondering, what about cutting out a white, just layer it white and maybe just edge it with something very gently, you know, nothing too big and bold. Just trying to find a scrap. I don't know if you guys do this, but I try and keep all my scrap bits of cardstock in one bag. So I keep all my white scraps in one bag to make it easier. I'm cutting out a bigger layer of the 2 1/4 there. So what I could do is just sponge that a little bit, and that will just sit, you know, and if I put it on, what's it, Majigs? Dimensionals, that will just sit up. Right, so while I've got this little scrap, I'm going to punch out these leaves just in case. You never know, might need them for something. And also, while the gold glimmer is here, I think I might punch out. Have I got other gold leaves? I've got 2 there. I might just punch out a couple more just in case. So don't forget to use all these little bits that are sort of kind of stuck away in here. Use those. It's amazing where this little leaf will fit. Often I look at scraps and go, oh, I'll never get a leaf in there. But actually, look at that. It fits perfectly. Who'd have thought you would have got that out of that? So always do check your scraps. Right, I'm not going to do all the sentiments and stuff right now because that will just take a bit of extra time. I just want to assemble it all together so you can see how it fits, and then I'll move on back to doing my layout because I've already been on here for 40 minutes. So let's pop that there. Get some glue. So I'm wondering whether to create a little bit of a green border on that now. hum-de-hum. I might have to get a fresh batch of old olive for that though. But I do have some in stock, that's good. I start to panic if I run out of old olive. It's one of my favourite go-to colours. So, right. Yes, I did. Hi, Ellie. I did use the lighthouse on the last challenge. Just checking this is 4 inches. Measure twice, cut once. I've learnt that over the years. Oh, I've even forgotten what I cut it at now. 4 1/4. Right, 4 1/4. There we go. So that'll be for that. And also leaf punch again. Let's get some leaves out of here. Would you use a black mat? Not with this, I don't think, Wendy. I think we've got enough depth, deep colours on here that I don't think we need black as a contrast. Although it's interesting you mentioned black. I am planning a whole video to do with using black in card making. Because it can be very effective and striking. So, right, let's just push those to one side. Right, let's start sticking, and then you guys can see this all start to come together. Just need some goo. Some gooey goo. Right, have I missed some colours? Let me just check. The gold is perfect accent. Pinking shears is a good thing, yes. Hi, I went out of my comfort zone and used script, which we've never done. Excellent, well done, Wendy. Yeah, so just if you missed my earlier video, the guys who were watching live were super chatting me and telling me what I wasn't allowed to use. So by the time I got round to this bit, I wasn't allowed to use a flower stamp, a leaf stamp, scissors, Tombow, grey ink, and there was one other thing. Can't remember what it was now. Oh, scraps, that was it. So this is what I ended up making. So I love it. It turned out so gorgeous. And Louise, who's a demo in, oh, I'm not sure where Louise is. I don't know if you're watching. You watching, Louise? She's already made one, exactly how I did it. So it just goes to show it's really easy technique, really easy to do. You just stamp your stamps and then be very careful how much of the sprinkles you put on. You do not need to do loads and loads, just a little touch here and there, and it just makes it look like there's waves splashing against the light. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Oh, good. Thanks, Karen. Yeah, I as I said, I don't know if Kay's watching. Esther, I don't know if you want to invite Kay on here. Kay lent it to me, so I'm trying to make use of it while I have it because she wants it back in a couple of weeks. So there we go. Right, that's on. Now, if you want to stick these all with dimensionals, you can do. It depends how thick you like your cards. I'm just gonna, because the glue's here, I'm just getting on and gluing. You like anything nautical? Ah, good. Oh, there you are, Louise. She's in Yorkshire, up north. Marvellous. Right. Let's find Mary Mallow. Do I want to do Mary Mallow or do I want to do Cherry Cobbler? Ooh, or Old Olive. Let's have a look. Old Olive. I keep knocking my thing here. I've got a sponge on here. Ooh, this one. Oh yeah, that's fine. High tide would work fine. Shall I get you guys back in a little bit more so you're not distracted by my messy desk? Have a sip of coffee. Right. use a wee bit of this old olive. So very gently, I'm just going to literally skim the edges of this. I don't want it too heavy, this sponging. Sometimes I am very heavy with the sponging, but this I don't want it too heavy. I just want a little delicate touch there. And then, and I'm not actually going to stick this all down right now because this all needs to be stamped really. There we go. But that's just to give you an idea of how you can create it. Your room looks like a Stampin' Up! War room. I have to go now as I've been watching all day and have ignored the hubby. Oh, hello hubby. That's fine. You can't do that. My husband's on his way back from London. He's back on British soil, and he's making his way back from London to Bristol. I've just lost that swirly whirly. Where's it gone? Oh, here it is. Yeah, I think the snow may have affected, and there was an accident maybe near Heathrow, and his bus didn't leave on time. It was supposed to have left at like 2 o'clock, but never mind, as long as he's safe. It's the important thing, isn't it? Right, so I'm sticking that there. Now, I don't know if you can see, but I'm being careful not to allow the filigree to kind of go over that red section, because I think if that starts tipping into the area where there's flowers, you won't see it as well. All right, so there's a kind of a reason. So, have I got my heating on? Yes. Oh yes. Well, it might have gone off again, but I did have it on earlier. I haven't quite got into, I haven't got it on like set to come on at certain times because it has been cold some days but warm others. So what I've tended to do is just put it on for an hour if I felt that, you know, things were kind of cooling down. Right, I want to do a little bit of, what's the word? What's the word? I want a little tweaking of the leaves. Just see if I can find my tweezers. I'm half packed for class next week, so some of my tweezers are not where they should be. So I'm wondering whether just to do a few little leaves here. See, he's in his man cave front room. Ah, so what's he been doing? Has he been doing anything fun, Wendy? You could have me on in the background if you want to. I'm just going to sponge the edges of this. I'll just tuck a couple under there. Just makes the gold show up a little bit more, doesn't it? You can catch the replays later, Wendy. Right, I'll put a little bit of glue on that. Get that stuck in. Oh, I think I'm going to be on here longer because I haven't even started that scrapbook page really. Well, I have started it, but not finished it. Right, I'm going to leave that there. That's that one done. Ta-da. Right. That one in the middle. So I am using 2 reds here. You haven't got this DSP yet. It is very, very pretty. And I am sorry to cover up this red. This is one of my favourite designs on here, but never mind. I need to show you what it can do. The big roses are beautiful for cutting out. It makes card making so easy. So easy. Right, I'm just going to put a splodge of glue in the middle. Hope it stays. There we go. It's coming through a little bit, but never mind. Bit gold. Bit gold. What about some of these? I think I might stick some of these gold leaves. Hi Cindy, no you haven't fallen asleep, it's just I'm taking a while. Sorry, it's taken much longer than I anticipated. You need that leaf bunch, Tracy. You need it. Just remember I've got those little stars as well, haven't I? Oh, actually, those could go there. That was nice, isn't it? Before I put that on there. I don't know if this is going to stick them down. I might have to use the dimensionals. We'll see. See what happens. Let's see if this will stick in any way, shape or form. Just hold that down with tweezers. Oh, Tracy. Well, have you got anything similar? Oh, oh dear. I hadn't realised that. Usually if I was sticking this amount of layers, I would just get the hot glue gun out, to be quite honest, because it's quicker. I can't be dealing with waiting for everything to dry. I need some dimensionals. Oh, you haven't got anything? Okay, so I'm going to put quite a few dimensionals on this gold piece because I want the dimensionals to actually help stick down some of the other pieces, like the other leaves. So I'm going to do quite a lot. Hi Joy! Welcome! You're loving the glimmer paper. It is, it's beautiful, isn't it? It's such a, what's the word, frugal way of creating bling on your cards. You know, because you get 2 sheets of 12 by 12 and don't get through them. No? Right, let's see if this will stick down. Oh, actually, what I'm going to do is put a couple of dimensionals in the centre so that it doesn't cave in. Does that make sense? Actually, not a couple, I'm putting 4. And it's wanting to swim around a little bit because the glue is still a bit wet. That's okay. Once the glue's dried, it should hold everything in place. Right, there we go, last one. So, a bit of glue around the edge of this. Oh, Wanda, you need to watch I have done a hot glue gun tip video. Don't go now, but later. Yeah, I have done a tip video on that. Yeah, it's quite easy. Once you know how to do it, it's really easy to eliminate the strings. Right! Ta-da! Right, that's the cards done. How long have I been on for? 54 minutes. I've got 6 minutes to do a layout. You think I'm going to do that in then? Right, so those are those. Pretty. I will make those into cards later and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so what have I got here? I need something really big, don't I? To kind of decorate this. So I need something in here. I'm going to move the photo out for a second. I'm wondering, what about some of that? So I'm going to cut this down too, because I want a lot of this border to show. Let's get that down to, what is that? About 7 inches, I think. Thank you, Tracy. Well, the paper's kind of helped out quite a bit because, and that's another good starting point. If your mojo's left the building, just pick out your favourite papers, you know, and have a play and see what happens. Right, I am going to do what someone suggested earlier, which is to kind of pull the paper forward. Actually, get my scissors out. Let me use these. What you can do is very easily just distress the edges of the paper very easy with a pair of scissors. Now, did you see I just ripped it there by accident as well? But you can turn that into a bigger rip if you want to distress the edge. Oops. There we go. Left the station. Oh no, we can't have that. Joy. Oh well, you can watch me until it returns. Alright. Or you can use the sketch. So this is all, what I'm doing now is all based on a sketch I've designed. So if you head to Artful Stampin Space, it's on there. I will be putting all the photos from today, here it is, on a blog post so that you've got it there to reference, and then I'll pin from that blog post. Right, so I'm just going to curve these edges backwards. If you've seen my videos before, you know I do this quite often for distressing and layering and stuff. There we go. And what this does is also creates a border around the edge without having to mat and layer another piece of paper. So see how I've got this little bit of green coming through now. And I think what I've got some doilies that might be quite nice to. Well, I've got green here. It's a green one. If I put some colour onto this, I think this is supposed to be Calypso Coral. I get a brush. Where's my brush gone? I want to grungy this up a bit. I don't want it so dark, so bright and light. There we go. It's a bit better. Same to this one here as well. So sometimes if embellishments are a little bit bright, you can play with them and, you know, grungy them up a bit. I'm just going to give this a little bit of a squeeze. Just gives it a bit of definition. Oh, it could have been Flirty Flamingo, yeah. Hi, Bobby. Right, I've just remembered I've got this photograph to put in here somewhere. Oh, right, now, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, shock horror, is I'm actually going to sandpaper the edges of this. I don't like the definition around the edge, it's too defined. Oh, I wonder if this will do it. Nope. I've got this little sandpaper thing here, so I'm just going to scratch the edges of the photograph. Now, don't panic, this isn't an original, it's a digital photograph that I've printed out myself. So you can do this to your printed out photographs just to create a bit of distress around the edge. I don't know if you guys can see that. See how that's done that? Okay, take care, Cindy. That's a little bit better. I feel like I just want to chop this down a little bit more. Right, I really want to put something, to loop something just round the middle to create a kind of circular impression. Grab some ribbon. Like, I want a kind of, like, something to frame it. Do you know what I mean? You know, that kind of idea. Or I guess I could stick something in a circular fashion. Ooh, I could do leaves around the edge, maybe. Just to create, because I still need to create a definition of a circle, don't I? Because that is what I gave you as your inspiration. I've lost my tweezers now. Oh, here they are. So I guess I could put some leaves going around the edge. Actually, if I put that there and there, that's almost like my faux bit of that middle panel, that middle label. So I could do those as my middle panel. Then to create the idea of a circle, I could just put these little leaves and things. Maybe I could... No, it doesn't work. Have these going around. Then I still do have these bits of gold filigree. I could pop those there. Ah, now I do have these little stars that popped out. I could have those stuck around the edges, couldn't I? I feel like I need something big and loopy here though. So what about some... I wonder if I can use some of this. Take some of the fibres out of this. It's too loopy doopy. Yeah, metal threads. Well, that'll be my loopy doopy, even if I don't get around to doing anything else. So I'm trying to make sure it looks circular. That's the only thing. That's my main concern. Right, let's start sticking down because I'm just aware that time is flying by. Stick that there and stick that there. Stick that there.
Hello.
May's come to say hello. Going for some dinner. Oh, awesome. Have fun, Tracy.
10.
Enjoy your dinner.
10 likes.
Actually, my kids need to put the oven on because we've got to cook our dinner. Can you go put the oven on, please? Get the chicken Kievs out the freezer. Stick a little gold thing there. Little gold thing there. Get that stuck down. Sorry, that's so shiny. If I put a bit of post-it note over the top, there we go. It's not so harsh, not so much of a glare then, is it? Right. I think I'm going to use dimensionals actually. Oh, she's just gone to get the chicken Kievs. Can you ask Ethan to put the rice, some rice on, please?
Rice and Kievs.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
Bread.
Well, we had chips yesterday. Just have rice.
And gravy.
You can do gravy if you want. This girl loves gravy. She has gravy with everything. What about a box of a sprig and leaf? What do you mean, Bobby? Oh, you mean the sprig punch? Do you think is that what you mean? Ellie says, "Hi May, I was missing you."
Hello.
So, what's Auntie Esther having for dinner, I wonder?
Food.
Food.
He's eating food.
Yes.
Edible things.
Yes, I hope so. Right, and then I think I'm going to put a little bit of
Scissors.
old olive on the side.
Wait.
Oh, I wrote scissors there because that was from earlier when
You can't.
I got told I couldn't use scissors.
No scissors.
Hmm. Right. So who's a scrapbooker on here? Hi, Steph. Oh, they finally found it out. Oh, that's great news. Oh, that's wonderful news. Good.
I don't understand what you mean.
Steph's blood pressure kept going up and the doctors didn't know what it was. Anyway, they figured it out now, so that's great. They just need to figure out how to get it down. Hey Bobby, background needs colour depth. Use a sponge brayer. Thanks, Bobby. What, this one? The just round at the edge? Good point. Because you guys can see it like through the screen. You can see it from far away, so you've probably got a good eye on it, Bobs. Thanks.
My mum doesn't have an eye on it.
No, I'm right up here, you see. I'm not looking at it from afar.
Is that a bad
So
thing?
it's a little flat, says Bobby. It's a little flat for me.
Well, yeah, from the top it's flat. I guess. Like, That's not going to 3D.
May is being
angle.
facetious.
I don't understand that.
Oh dear. Dear, dear.
Will you put it on the top?
Right,
So
where's my
that's
little brushes gone? Is my brushes down there?
So this
Is my brush on the floor?
on-
Hey, hey, hey. Right, where are my big brushes gone?
I don't know.
Someone sack the cheeky child. Yeah, sponge sprayers are super cool. They're great for creating ombre backgrounds. Is that better, Bobby? Creating a little bit more of a... Make it look a bit more textured and in depth. Yeah, I must admit, this layout has been very tricky for me. I'm not feeling the love of it just yet. It needs more. It needs more something. Something. So I know I haven't finished it yet, but I'm trying to get a wriggle on. Right, I do want to use these little gold stars though. So I'm going to start by sticking those on and see what happens. Need something bigger behind the DSP. Yeah, I know it needs something zhuzhy, but I'm not sure what we've got in our current collection of dies that I can use. I'll have another look in a second and see what I can use. Need some more stamping. Yeah, it might do. It's good you can't see the crackle that's already on here. Thanks, Louise. Yeah, it's a good start. It's just I'm not completely happy with it. It needs more. Needs more. Ethan. Ethan. Yeah. Roger might be coming round for the key to go and set up. Okay. Right. There's a couple of stars. It's a shame we don't have like a great big sleep on it. I can't sleep on it. I've got another thing to do in 2 hours' time. Actually, I could go and have a nap, couldn't I? In between. Right, let me take that off and... Ooh. Oh, I thought that wasn't going to come off then. Oh, I'm just not feeling the love just yet. Not feeling it. It needs more.
Where is the key?
Where's what?
The key.
It should be hanging up. Don't do that to me, child. Right, let's have a look. What have I got in the way of ribbon? Oh, I've got some gold thread.
So these.
No, the one, that one. Ethan, can you get Jaden or Luke to go with you? I'm just going to stick that under there. Oh, that's better. That's fun. You guys probably can't see. Oop. Oop. There we go. There we go. So I'm using the thread as my like filigree element. Okay. So I'm recycling the edges of these, and I'm just popping that there to kind of hold it together, then taking that off, and shoving that underneath my layout.
In a couple of minutes. We'll go down.
I wonder if lost the other green one. Oh, there it is. Put that under there as well.
Mum,
Yes.
what can I do?
What can you do?
I'm bored.
Oh dear. So I'm basically just trying to make it get a bit further up, go a bit further up into there. I might have to go around and re-stick everything down later, but there we go. Oops. Stick that under there.
$36 people watching.
Yay.
And 11 likes.
What about just a bit more texture under here? Seeing as I love it so much. Let's go.
Did you want me to clean out the rice cooker as well?
Why is it really there?
Well, there's leftover something in it.
Okay, yeah, wash it up. Well, call Luke. Can you call Luke to come and help?
What can I do?
So it's not super obvious, these roses. But they do make a bit of a difference. And I think, what about some dark green leaves? And you can see the difference all the way there, Bobs. Mossy meadow. Hi, Linda. The next one is punches and DSP, Esther. Yeah, I feel like I need to add more to this leafy bit now because it looks a bit lifeless. Needs a bit more green. Oh, it was me, Karen. I got the Stampin' Up virus first. Okay, I'm just literally sponging some stuff on because it just needed grunging up a little bit more. Oh, thank you, Linda. It's taken a bit of time to get there. No, that doesn't work. It doesn't really show up. But okay, Ellie, no worries. Have a lovely evening. You going over to help? Okay. I can hear her singing upstairs. My kids are just going over to help set up church for tomorrow. We meet in a community centre, so it all has to get set up. Right, I do have some of these little gems. Oh, I have gold. I have little gold ones actually. I feel like I need a few more stars. So I'm just wanting to create the curve a little bit more around here. I went off at a tangent. Kinda. I mean, I'm sort of sticking-ish to my plan. You know, this was the sketch, so it's got the inner bit, it's got the central focus, and then it's got the bits coming off. But I guess because this section has ended up being smaller, the swirls have gone off into there. And then I'm just kind of trying to create a border or create the focus of the circle or the oval that I've ended up doing with these gold dots. So yes, I guess I kind of went off a little bit at a tangent, but I'm trying to pull it back, Ellie. To stop, says Bobby. Enough is enough. I'm almost tempted just to get a marker pen, you know, and just do like some lines. I'm very tempted to do that. Like in a circle, get my pen out and get a big, something big and circular and just do some little like sketchy lines around it. I'm sure I've got something round that's that size. Just use the alcohol pens. Oh, I did have a round, something like a round lid or... Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Oh, here it is. So kind of just get a pen and just create a bit more of a circular impression. Where did alcohol pens gone now? There they are. Because the alcohol pens will just show, well, they'll show up on anything really. I haven't got a dark green. If I use, what have I got? Dark cherry cobbler to start off with. If I start off with that and see what happens. Yes, do the marker, says Bobby. Thank you, Bobby. Bobby's my artistic consultant, everybody. So I'm literally just kind of going around every so often and just doing a line with the marker, which you can't see. Okay, I'm going to make that darker. Okay. I meant when you did the cards, so you used up time there. Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, I did. Okay, so I'm now just going to use my pen to follow that line round and just do some sketchedy lines around the whole thing. Oh, there's a star. I can use that for something. If I just knocked it off. No. Right, let's see if I've got a black. Ordinarily, this would be quite scary, but it kind of makes a lot of sense to me right now to do this. I'm going to save that star, but put the star somewhere in a minute. So, right. The circle is just very faint, but it's just creating a little bit more definition. I don't know if you guys can see it. Okay. Just around here as well. Right, that wee little star, that can go on there. You know what, I'm going to cut that down. It's a bit too big. Well, thank you for staying with me, guys. Hour and a half, my goodness. Very kind of you. Thank you for the super chat, Bobby. Very kind of you too. There we go. Right, I will try and get a decent photograph of this. I might have to wait till tomorrow. Take the tape strips for shaker cards and put that on the circle and pour glitter on. Ooh. Ooh. I think that would be a little, it would create too much of a harsh line. But what I could do is get I've got some Versamark Reinker. How about distressing and rounding the edges of the actual scrapbook paper, like kind of like cutting it? Oh, I see what you mean. Yes, I could do that, but I feel like I'm running out of time now, so yeah, that's a possibility. What about if I get the Reinker? Ooh, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. Just gonna. This is Versamark Reinker, okay? So I'm just dabbing that along the border of the circle. And scraping it as well. You saw it here first, folks. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do this before. To create quite a distressy edged. Right, if this all melts in front of your eyes, at least you've seen it. You've seen it once. You might never see it again. Right, I just need a clean bit of paper. Right. Hi, Linda. Okay, so I'm literally going to pour this now on the edges. I should have done it bit by bit. Oh, shucks. Right, let's go for it. Then do it the other way. Tip, 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 tip. And the other way. Well, this is distressing the edges of the paper anyway, me bashing it like this. Right. I wonder if this will work. Okay, Karen, sleep well. Yeah, it'll be a bit too late. I'm going to be back on in an hour and a half's time. This video just took way too long. So I'll try and make the other one a little bit shorter. So I think you did well and you kept going just as you always tell us. Oh, thank you. I know, I suppose I have to listen to my own advice, don't I? Now, my only fear is that the gold thread is going to melt a little bit. Yeah, it's melting. Oh, there's a little bit of fumage. Right, just try and straighten it back up a bit. Right, there we go. Whew. Yes, I do have to listen to my own advice. Right, got there in the end. Thank you very much for sticking with me. Got a little bit of a splatterage going on here. Never mind. On my sister's face. She's got a dot in her face. Never mind. Okay, so close up. I will take some photos of these and put these on Artful Stampin Space. And probably tomorrow I will get better photos when the sun rises and I can actually see what's going on. So if you want to go ahead and grab the sketch, go onto Artful Stampin Space and it's all there ready. And let's see what you guys create from this sketch. I hope it doesn't take as long as me. It doesn't need to. And you don't necessarily have to use designer series paper. You can create a border using stamps. Maybe I'll come on later and do that because tonight when I come on at 10, it's stamping only. So I'll be doing that. I love it. I'm never a glitter crafter, lol. Oh, cool. So I've used I've used a little bit of glitter today. Yeah, got a few of those little gemmy bits and things. So, thank you all. I'm just going to flippity-dippity the camera so that we can say quick hello. I'll be back then to listening on your phone, looking at TV. My sag can't understand. Do you mean dog? Dog. Louise says, you always make everything look great. Oh, thank you, Louise. Thanks, Ali. Lovely to see you. Hi, Nydia. How about just... Oh, yes. I read about... Yeah. Yes, you could very easily distress the edges. I've just run out of time. So, yeah, definitely. Karen, lovely idea about the tape strips. For me, it was just... I wanted something a little bit more distressed rather than lines. So that's why I ended up doing what I did. Bobby, are you happy now? I'm just trying to see if there's any other comments. Right, so I've got to go and sort out the food for my kids. And I'll see you back here at 7 o'clock, 7 in the evening, UK time, whatever time that is with you, in about an hour and a half's time. So take care for now. Bye.